So here's another video on the Ghetto WorkCenter Boom Arm contraption that I'm building here. In the previous video I talked about this top tray that holds this saw and stops the saw from sliding off. I talked about this boom arm I made that locks in with a variation on the French cleat that hooks the inside lip of the tray, and I made this inside section of it the full width because it provides a lot of stability so I can't wiggle it side to side. The new addition is this piece here that holds the sanders. This locks on with a similar French cleat detail. There's a 1/2-inch spacer here and then another piece, which is all made out of 1/2-inch plywood, that comes down inside this lip. And down here at the bottom there's a 1/2-inch spacer so it remains relatively vertical. If I remove this little sander, you can see the V shape. I've cut 2 of them in and just used a router to make a very coarse roundover. Nothing too fancy, but it's enough that it works without any issue. And that V is copied off of this, and this is a Festool tool rack. I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's actually, with these 2 little prongs, it's designed to fit in the new CT vacuums. I have an old style CT22, it doesn't fit in mine, so I got this block of wood that I drilled it into. I had to buy some metric drill bits, but I've drilled it in, and I just clamp this to things. But I wanted to make one that easily fit on the work center. So there you can see it's holding 2 sanders. I know from experience it'll also hold the domino, and I'm not quite sure exactly what else it'll hold, but even if it just holds sanders and the domino, that still adds a lot of utility to this contraption. So now between holding the hose, holding 2 tools here, and having the center tray to hold things, I can't think of much I'm going to do with the vacuum that's not going to be able to now be centrally run off of the vacuum. Now, it's not quite as fancy as the actual Festool WorkCenter. It doesn't have the additional shelves and the pegs and all that stuff, but I think it'll work pretty well. So if I use it and find that it's lacking, I'll certainly add more things to it, and I'll update the video and blog series about it. But for now, it looks like this is going to be fine. And I'm not going to disassemble the whole hose assembly, but for a second, we'll take the sanders off. Oh, that was a good video. But now the sanders are disconnected, and you can see how easily it comes off, and that shows you what the cleat looks like. And that's all it looks like. I can't pan out enough on this camera. And what's going to happen is, I haven't done them yet, but I will be drilling holes in the tray, and probably in the boom arm, though I don't even actually completely need it on the boom arm. And it goes back together just that simply. And the sander, voila, and she hangs. So that's how that's going to go. Anyway, once I get these all off and I drill the holes, they're just going to hang on the wall right here up with some other accessories. So that's how it'll all easily go away. And then in use, I'll only put on what accessories I need to. As I'm building it now, they're all just kind of stacking on each other. But in use, I probably won't have the whole thing built unless I specifically need every component of it. So that's the Ghetto WorkCenter Boom Arm in, at least right now, what I think will be its completed state.